This is a cool Rooty Tooty compressor by no-name brand, and it combines the quality, the price, and the capability of the small little guy to power your airbrush for many needs, from scale modeling to taxidermy and everything. So this little guy is essentially just a tankless version of our most popular Tooty compressor, or the cool Tooty, as we just introduced the upgraded version. This doesn't have a tank. That's what I'm pulling out of my drawer here. The combination of the two things I would use to reduce any pulsation coming out of the motor, because that's essentially what's going on. This is only air tank you have on this compressor, which honestly is not an air tank, it's just a moisture trap, but it actually works a little bit as air tank because it softens the pulsation a little bit, but still it comes out of the tank. So if you have like really short hose, straight hose, and connected directly to airbrush, you might experience some of the skipping little. It's not going to be like this ideal line. It's going to be like a bunch of dots followed to each other, next to each other. If you don't use those two things I'm about to show you, first you want to use this kind of hose. It's a coiled air hose, so even if you're close to a compressor, the real length of this hose is, well, you see I don't have my spread of my arms to pull it out, but all this length, and especially with this shape as a spring, it eliminates the pulsation a lot. It really helps. On top of that, just to be sure, I would put one of those guys. These are no-name filters, moisture traps, additional for airbrush, so it goes directly to airbrush. And I would screw one side to the hose and another one to the airbrush. Of course, you need both of them. I'm just showing you two different models. Probably like black more. Everything's gonna be black, but black is a little more expensive. That's how it looked like with either one of them. You don't have to do both. I mean, you can do both. Of course, you really want be nice handle. Sometimes people like to have handle for airbrush, but you don't have to do it. This combination is really takes care of the majority of pulsation, and we can do the tiny lines, we can do any miniature painting or scale model and stuff like that without having any issue, even with a small compressor without air tank. What are benefits of not having an air tank? Of course, well, the space it takes, it's a double space pretty much. It's lighter, it's more portable, and that's the benefit sometimes people need, especially when they do a lot of combination of different projects on the same area, so nothing dedicated for airbrushing only. You want to pull out the small guy, just set it out there and get your airbrush hooked up. So that's where it's going to be used. As for compressor itself, it's a high quality compressor. It's, yes, made in China. We couldn't find any way around it so far to get it. It's a nice price point, quality combination, and all the features. As for the features, there's a new thing we just added for it recently. Is additional cooling fan on top. So normally this is the radiator on top of where the piston is, the pump itself, and there's a little piston goes up and down, which creates a pressure. A lot of heat builds up here. So initially we had the radiator, and if you would set up like some direct airflow going to it, it would be okay. But if it sits in the small area, small room like some of you guys sitting in, it creates a lot of heat, and this heat doesn't really go anywhere. So now we have the fan built up right above it, which takes all the heat away. So it actually sucks the air out of it and pretty much creates the airflow. It's all good. I mean, we ran this guy for hours. We start this test with checking every 5, 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then it didn't really change, up to 2 hours. So we just ran it for 8 hours to see the ending result, how hot it's going to be with the fully open airbrush, trigger open all the time, just running constantly. And as you can see, it was totally acceptable temperature, no issues at all. It can run long terms. And sometimes, this is when if you're in the market for a compressor, you're probably watching this video, of course. Make sure to check what the manufacturer, if you're not getting this one, which I totally hope you will, what the manufacturer says about the longevity of how long a period of time you can run a compressor for. Because a lot of times they're going to be like 30, 45 minutes kind of max. Then you take a break. This compressor really doesn't need a break. Just keep an eye on the temperature, but it has a fan inside, it has a fan on top, so it really takes care of itself. It can long hours of work. ahead of you with this compressor. So one of the minor improvements we made is a little plastic cup right here on this pin, which the valve pretty much for cleaning out the moisture of the moisture trap. And it's not a big deal, but it's important for some people who has soft fingers. It used to be the sharp metal piece here, and then when the pressure built in inside can be not comfortable to do this. Now it's so good, even the kids could do it.
Yep, I can do it just perfectly. So now, can I please have my compressor back?
So when Fords come for China, to assure the quality, we always do quality check here in the United States, in Florida. They don't have the stickers. So those stickers, they're not applied at the manufacturing facility. They actually applied here when they already crossed the ocean, and we pull them out of the box. This is the sample of the Cool Tooty with the tank compressor, bigger box, pulling it down from the top of our warehouse, opening the box, and yes, it's just black. I mean, there's no stickers besides the one on the back for which shows just the model pretty much, and the little no name next to it. But if you have the no name by spray gunner sticker like I have here, this was applied by Isoberto. We have some other trained, qualified employees who know how to run this compressor, how to listen to them, how to see how they build up the pressure, check the auto on and off function, and just make sure everything sounds and feels and looks right. It builds up pressure up to 4.5 bars, then it shuts out automatically, and when the pressure drops to 3.5, it starts again. So pretty much when you connect it directly, of course, without air tank, it's just you start using airbrush, pressure drops immediately, and it kicks on. If you're done using airbrush, if you stop using, you release the trigger, air is not flowing, beats out the pressure quickly, it shuts off right away. So it's not going to be next to you vibrating and making sound when you don't have the airbrush operating. When you're using airbrush, you're just sitting and doing something else, gluing, or using pencil if you're doing artwork or whatever out there you're going to do. It's not going to bother you because works, starts, gets the pressure down. Not using airbrush, it shuts off and quiet. It's just going to have a little fan running because, well, this is still, I would say it's the third generation of our third generation, because we're going to upgrade this and have the fan running only when it's when the power bottom is on. But right now it's going to, as soon as you plug it in, the fan is going to start cooling and trying to keep it cool all the way. So it has the standard 1/8 connector, same size as on many of the airbrushes out there, the majority of the airbrush out there. And that's exactly why I decided to go with this size, just because any other fittings, adapters you have out there will fit directly. Whatever you bought for your airbrush will be also useful here. Accessories, some of the accessories will be usable, and this is kind of our vision. So if you have the one quarter hose which you really love and want to use it, continue using it, you might need an adapter for this one. We don't supply them standard, so get it additionally. Other than that, there's not much to say about it. I mean, it's really simple. A power button right here, on and off. I better have it plugged in. The rubber feet right here, so kind of self-with vibration against the table or the floor, whatever we're going to put it in. The noise level, as you can see, it reads at just under the 60 decibel from what is it going to be, probably a pre-fit to the camera. So it's absolutely fine for working in the room. If you have right in front of you, yeah, it might be buzzing a little bit, but I would normally suggest putting somewhere under the table or just a little bit away from you. 6 to 10 feet hose, and you'll be totally fine, not bothering neighbors, or if you're in an apartment complex, stuff like that. We have people using them totally with no issue. So yeah, go check it out, this little compressor. We have the full warranty here in the Florida. We take care of every customer within 48 hours. I mean, if it arrived here before we do that, we always start with a phone call and see if we can help, because imagine or not, but some people just can mess up, can't figure out how to use the regulator correctly, or mess up some other little things. We can help on the phone pretty often. If not, if it's like real technical issues, we need to look at it. We're gonna have shipped it back here at our expense. And if it's not repairable right away, if it's not something quick fix we can do for you, we're just gonna send you a new model, new compressor. It's not like something we want to hold you off and wait for weeks while we work on the compressor. We understand you need to paint, we understand you have a hobby or profession, you need to fulfill some projects going on. So we're going to try to have your compressed air always delivered to you when you need it. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for watching.